Hey everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. My soldiers, our watchdogs, something's got them upset. Now there's a bit of a clutter here in the middle, but for good reason. A lot has happened since I got sick, and we got babies 2 weeks ago. We got 4 yellow meat turkeys, 3 brown meat turkeys, 6 guinea fowl, and we have left 4 bantams. We lost 2. Bantams are tiny, tiny little things, and they're so hard to keep alive in the cold weather. And we've had below freezing temperatures at night last week. They were indoors, but still, it gets cold at night, and they have to have around 90 degrees in their first days. But anyway, here they are, semi-free ranging, and the clutter is because we've got all this stuff out here to try to prevent hawks. The tarp goes on at night. I've got a little chunk of fence there. We were using that cage right here for a while, and they've grown to the chicken truck. Hi! Enough! They've grown to the chicken tractor now. So the guineas are separated and having a fit. Let me pause the camera. So I tarped them all up at night. They've got a heat lamp in there at night. It's enough for them now. And last night was their first night outside. We were taking them in every night and putting them out during the day, during nice days. But now this is their home. The chicken tractor, and they're happy and loving it. In the gardens, the only thing that's really doing well is our kale. Melanie just harvested a whole mess of kale for dinner. Nothing else really is growing. We've had near freezing nights and 60s and 70s by day. Now, like flipping a switch, in 2 days it's going to be near 100 and 70 at night. So our nighttime low is going to be warmer than our daytime highs have been. Melanie still has a temporary bed here, so I have to walk around it. She had found all of these, we don't even know what it is. It grew up, and food is a resource now. We don't know what it is. It grew up from something. Well, there's another mess. And we're going to try to spread them out around the property and keep them, whatever they are. And we'll have an abundance of something. So the tomatoes are not good. Actually, bummer. We're having a rough time of it. Look, something ate the top off of that plant. It's just, we're having a horrible time with the rodents, ground squirrels. That one's absolutely dead. I can't see my camera. This one's not going to bear fruit. That one's not going to bear fruit. This one might be okay. That one's going to be dead, and something topped that one off, so that's done. These others are possibly going to grow. Well, there's more. I don't know what they are. But these others will possibly grow. The peppers have done nothing since the day we brought them home because they're stunted from the horrible temperature change. And Melanie's got some various plants that she has thrown in by seed, and some have grown on her own from the mulch, from the compost bin. And some she's got like, there's mustard greens in here. There's Chinese cabbage in here. It's a big variety. So, I know the greens will work because we've been eating greens that grew up in our old raised beds that grew up on their own. And then it's a constant battle to keep the grass out. It's just non-stop. Really, the grass is growing better than anything this year. We're going to have beautiful strawberries this year. Better than ever before. So that's one thing. There's an abundance of strawberries. They love mulch. We have heavily mulched, and they love mulch. So that's one thing that's really, really doing well. That and the sorrel. You can eat this in small amounts. It's a fresh, lemony, soury, citrusy, sour, refreshing flavor. But it can take over your bed because it sends out runners. And it loves the same place that the berries are growing in. Let me pause and get these out of here. Now, even after the freeze, Michelle's 3 tomato plants are okay. We just got her brand new strawberry. She wanted a strawberry for her bed. And the sweet potatoes they got some life coming in. And Melanie put in some Chinese cabbage. I don't know if she grew them herself or not, I'm not sure. But there's there's Michelle's bed. This is all hers. Now what we're doing, raised bed, raised bed, raised bed, everywhere, raised beds. And we just put in another one, 1 foot deep. This is going to be my root vegetable garden. So we've not grown the root vegetables ever before here with any success at all. And now I've got the whole variety, so we'll try that this year. And we're putting in a salad and cabbage bed behind the shade of the fence so that the heat of the day doesn't hit them as bad. The sun in the peak heat of the day in the late afternoon hours is when it gets hottest here. That'll be a little bit less brutal for them. Now, some of these she has grown from seed, and some of them, the Swiss chard and the cabbage plants, we bought because there's no way on earth that we can, and some eggplants, there's no way on earth we can start them from seed anymore. Now again, it was too cold even for our own greenhouse this year, so we did not have the opportunity to start seeds like we would have in the past. Yeah, these she transplanted. These came up from seeds. That's all her. And then I've got to extend that out. I'm going to go to the end of the fence line with that. And then we'll take out this temporary patch that she put in. We'll have to dig up. I don't know why she did that, but we're going to dig up the whatever squash type plants those are and put another raised bed along the fence line up to Michelle's. And just maximize our gardens in here this year. It's a lot of work. It's a lot. The grass and the weeds grow better than anything. So let me show you what else I've been up to. Obviously you can tell by my voice, I think I feel better. It's over. I'm good. We just did this yesterday and this today, and I'll show you a couple other things. So I think I'm back in business here. We're dismantling the old greenhouse and moving it up the hill. So this is all coming down because it was a little bit lower ground and it was on a slope, so it was always falling apart. So this is being dismantled and we're taking the soil out. I don't want to make those guineas upset. You can see here we're just pulling out all the soil and moving everything out. Now a lot of that's mustard greens that came up on its own from last year. The problem is, I don't know why, but they bolt fast. A lot of them just go wild and bolt straight up. It could be competition, because some of the ones in the middle are not. But these are good, and they self-plant, or whatever you call it. I'm going to do a video about them separately on my survival channel, because that is the ultimate survival food. They spread their own selves and just keep coming back. You don't have to do a thing. Now over here, we're taking the soil from our old garden. This is where it always froze because it was too low, the ground, and moving it into our raised beds. It's all weedy. Notice we have no grass yet, but the weeds are insane. The weeds are almost knee-high, and the grass we haven't even mowed once yet this year. Now, this I did Friday. I was not feeling well yet, and so I just did it. And that was an entire day of work for me. That's how slow I was on Friday. I was still pretty rough, but I did this all myself. Almost 100% from homemade lumber, which really feels good. There's only 2 boards in this whole thing that was not lumber that I made myself. So it really feels good. I think it looks good. I'm very pleased. It's stable. And it opens. Now, I'll probably share with you when I do the rest of this. Little, very light. I mean light. I love these gate latches like this. Incredibly light. Just so smooth. Michelle loves using it. So, we have an opening gate. It works now. I'm going to finish putting on the boards later. I'll share that with you. Yesterday I was mulching. I was still a little bit slow, so I didn't do any video, but I am trying to weed around my herbs and mulch, and the thyme seems to be one of the best things in this property. Thyme grows well, and mint. Thyme and mint grows well. There's a woolly thyme. That's a mother of thyme. I love it. Great for pollinators. Awesome, awesome for pollinators. There'll be 6, 7, 8 bees at a time on these thyme beds. I love them. Oregano was struggling, so I mulched it. I have a sweet mint that crazy spread. No, wait, this is lime mint here, and sweet mint up there, and then another mint spread. I think the sweet mint did all this, and then there's another mint over here. But you can see we still had rough weather, so the mint isn't growing hardly at all yet in this bed. And we have a tiny, tiny, tiny little group of thyme that isn't doing anything yet. Oregano's still struggling. Another little bed of thyme and some mint I brought in. Still struggling. It's been cold. Even the roses, which are one of the first things of spring, the wild roses haven't grown and flowered yet. It's just been really rough this year, really cold. Now I've got a new herb bed. I told you I was going to tell you about that and I forgot. I put in a layer of, who put gravel in here? That's odd. Somebody put gravel. Michelle probably did something. There's gravel. Michelle is always working. So I've got a layer of decomposing straw, and then a layer of soil, and then a pretty thick layer of mulch. And when I want to plant something, I'll dig through the mulch into the soil and put it in. I've got a huge variety of stuff growing here. Walmart had a deal, 4 packs of herbs, and so I just popped it in here. Well, the one did finally die. We had one of our squash plants lived, one died from the freeze, and I lost all my marigolds, almost all my marigolds. So another mint plant still hasn't grown. We're on what, almost the middle of June, and they're still just peeking out of the ground. So it's really, really a rough year this year. Another mint plant, I mulched around the plants that are coming. This little batch grew a little and those didn't. And up in here, my tarragon is only just starting to come up now. This one has not. I don't know if it's gonna. I guess it died. I lost a lot of my oregano plants from last year, but this tarragon is coming. Now I'll show you the best, the only things that are growing well. Oh, first I'll show you a failure. Our apple tree that was flowering died. It has dropped all its leaves. It's been too cold at night, too confusing, and it died. So did my cherry tree and my 2 plum trees. They just gave up, dropped all their leaves, and died. I have 2 peach trees that still only have 2 buds that opened, and another peach tree that has 3, 4, or 5 buds, and that's it. So it's been rough. They didn't do well. So here though, my tarragon is good. This is the big hill. I don't know if it's because it's in a raised bed, because it's in the sun. I lost 2 oregano plants. There was one here and there was one here. Died. I lost an oregano plant here. It died. It's all gone. And the only thing that lived is my thyme and my hot and spicy oregano. Catmint is beautiful. One of the best things here. 3 of my marigolds came back. All the others died that I can find. And again, mint is just starting. The variegated mint hasn't started really yet. Catmint is amazing. I mean, that is just amazing. I'm going to get a bunch more catmint. But the variegated mint is doing nothing. The peppermint is not doing much. So we're late this year. We're really late this year. And over here, this bed is a little bit better. The peppermint that I transplanted is a little bit taller in this bed. My skullcap is spreading. The flowers haven't started really yet. I think that's rhubarb I put in. And the bee balm is looking good. So they're just starting to grow. I babied this and I covered it and I protected it and I tried and it dropped all its blossoms. It dropped all the apples. There will be no apples this year here. It dropped everything. One tree died entirely and this one dropped all its blossoms. And I tried really hard. So it's just been a really late start to the season this year. And last thing, somebody gave me a pond for free. Pretty decent, comes up to my knee. And the deep part, the previous person that had it before the person who gave it to me, had put a bunch of holes in it below the water line. I wouldn't have done it that deep. And there's a water pump, so I'm going to close some holes. There's some holes right there where they put zip tie. So there's that one, and then there's another one, a waterfall one that goes into it. And again, they had some weird odd holes below the water line, which I wouldn't have done. So I'm going to be closing those holes and sealing them up so that I can use these. And then we'll be putting in a pond right there. I don't think it shows on camera. I've always said there's going to be a pond right here. And that'll be beautiful with a solar-powered waterfall. And we'll get a couple goldfish. And the frogs will come. And that'll be pretty. All of our flowers along the fence line got killed from the frost and the freezing. Everything. Even the phlox died. Everything died out. On both sides we had a nice beautiful array of flowers. They're all gone. The roses are just sitting there. Not doing anything. They're not dead, but they're not really alive either. This will be the future. Future. Keyword. I've been picking at it over the past few days and weeks. This is a hole I started years ago, and I've been picking at it, as you can see. I'm going to have an underground greenhouse. I think that if we're going to have any food in this property in the future, it's going to have to be underground. There's just no other way. Basically, it's going to be like a wallipini. If I say that right, I'm not sure. I'm going to have a entranceway going down stairs, deep underground, probably 8 feet deep. The grow beds will be just raised off the ground level with a cold sink. This is a 20-foot by, 6 or 8 foot hole in the ground, and it's going to be 40 foot long in the future. Again, it's something I'm for the future, but I think if we're going to be able to grow here anymore, this is what it's going to have to be moving forward, because our weather is shifting. Anyway, I hope you like this video. I'm back on my feet again and got my strength back, and we'll be working here on the homestead. So please do like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you all later.